to Ottawa now, where just as MPs were packing their bags for the summer break, they learned one of their most experienced and respected colleagues won't be returning in the fall. After 35 years in politics, Liberal MP Bob Rae is calling it quits. He says the decision wasn't an easy one, but there's something else that he's yearning to do. Shirley Engel has the story.
It's been a very difficult decision.
Once Bob Rae announced he wouldn't challenge Justin Trudeau for Liberal leader, this day was inevitable. But that didn't make it easier.
I've left this place twice of my own volition, and it's never easy.
Rae wants to focus on his work as an advocate for First Nations in Northern Ontario, making sure the province gives them a fair share of the resource-rich Ring of Fire. He described a pivotal moment up there in a boat with a man and his daughter.
And as we were riding and going out fishing and talking about life, it seemed to me that perhaps I could do something to make sure that his daughter had the same chances as mine.
His legacy, say colleagues,
we are extremely emotional today.
Saving the Liberal Party from the brink.
I think there's an enormous sense of gratitude to Bob for the challenge that he took up when, quite frankly, at the moment when he began, there wasn't a lot left to lead.
Sunshine. Over 35 years in public life, he's been both loved and hated. First elected in 1978 as a New Democrat, Rae helped topple Joe Clark's minority Conservative government and Ontario's Tory dynasty in the 1980s. But as premier of that province during the recession, his austerity measures, like those infamous Rae days for civil servants, put him at odds with party faithful. Back in Ottawa as a Liberal in 2008 with leadership ambitions, it wasn't until Michael Ignatieff's disastrous election loss in 2011 that Rae took over as interim leader. He had a habit of being in the right place at the wrong time.
I think most people understand that Bob Rae didn't make the tumultuous times, that he was thrust into them, and that he coped as well as he could with difficult scenarios.
In these hyper-partisan times, even foes praise his intelligence and sense of humor.
Somebody who brought a great deal of eloquence to the House of Commons.
On a day like this, all of us, whatever political stripe, simply have good thoughts for someone who has served for 35 years like Bob Rae, and I wish him well.
Rae will turn 65 this summer. When asked if he'll ever be back in office, he said what any astute career politician would.
Never say never, but it certainly closes the door for now.
A dignified exit, the kind politicians of any stripe could only wish for. Shirley Engel, Global News, Ottawa.
And our chief political correspondent, Tom Clark, joins me now. Tom, it's a rare thing these days that a politician is as respected and admired by all sides the way Bob Rae is, isn't it?
Yeah, rare indeed, Donna. I asked him once what he wanted to be remembered for, and he said he wants to be the guy who never used talking points, and he never did. You know, agree or disagree with him, Bob Rae was always authentic, which set him apart from pretty well everybody else.
And talking about MPs and summer vacation, it arrived early for them. They adjourned last night after what was a real acrimonious session. Do you think the summer is likely to lower the temperature?
Well, you know, they all walk out of here somewhat wounded, and there's nothing more dangerous than a wounded politician. Through all the smiles that they'll put on during the barbecue circuit this summer, the party leaders will be playing hardball. Now, there are three major markers for the government in the months ahead. First is the Conservative Policy Convention next week in Calgary. Stephen Harper will have to rally his base, which has been badly shaken by the Senate scandals, and show them that he can handle the fallout. Second, the cabinet shuffle. This will not only set the stage for the next election, but will create the pole positioning for leadership hopefuls in the post-Harper period, which may not be that far off. And finally, third point, when the House does resume, probably in September, maybe October, the government will have to unveil some sort of plan for the next 2 years, because there's a real sense here that the government has sort of run out of ideas and has lost its sense of mission.
And what about the opposition over the summer?
Well, they're going to be spitballing each other all summer long, both trying to emerge as the true alternative to the Conservatives. Justin Trudeau will take his family across the country, trying to consolidate his #1 ranking in the polls, while Tom Mulcair will try to consolidate his base in Quebec. Both of them are going to be square off soon enough in by-elections in Montreal and Toronto because of Bob Rae, and those by-elections could decide the opposition match.
All right, Tom Clark, thanks.
You bet.